I was in Indianapolis. I was there's 1 out of 6 Indian kids out of a graduating class of like 1,000 students. The communities I grew up in did not have a lot of Indian people. I was always sticking out. And part of the reason I was sticking out is because I looked like this. I know, vastly different from how I look now. Thanks for the awes. That, what we call right there, that's a junior turban right there. I mean, that's not what we call it. It's like the minor leagues to the major leagues, in case you guys know that. This is like Toys R Us juniors, and a turban is like Toys R Us. Because in Sikhism, one of the tenets is that you don't cut your hair, because it is a gift from God, and it makes you identifiable in a crowd. Yeah, especially if you're in Indiana. Which, by the way, I just want to clear something up. When I tell people that, they're always like, did your parents pick Indiana because it's so similar to India? Yes. Yes, they did. My parents, who barely understood English at the time, pointed at a map and said, this phonetically looks like our country. Let's start a life there. Well, that's what I look like, and a lot of times people would be like, you look like a girl, and that's where a lot of low self-esteem came in, and not like, oh, look at this guy looking like a girl, not in a sarcastic way. It was literally like, oh shit, this person is a girl in the men's bathroom, which happened. So I was in a grocery store bathroom, and there was an elderly Asian guy, a young black kid, and a white teenager. And I remember all 3 of them joined forces to kick me out of the men's bathroom because they thought that I was a girl. And I walked that bathroom, and I left it thinking, wow, I can't believe I brought those people together. In no other circumstance, I don't think they would ever be together. United Nations in that bathroom! I was so traumatized, I quit using the men's bathroom for like 2 years. I just went to women's bathrooms in the public all the time. I've been fighting the pro bathroom fight for a long time. But it was hard going through school like that. So I was like 1 out of maybe 2, if not the only Sikh kid in the schools that I was attending. And it's really hard when your appearance is always noticeable. When you're not just a brown kid, you are the brown kid with a thing on top of his head. And I struggled with my identity for a long time because of that. Because I don't feel very attractive. Like, I'm not Paul Rudd. And I don't, so like when someone is into me, like they want to date me, I know it's for me, because I don't have anything else to offer. I'm not rich, right? I'm not rich, I don't own real estate. Literally the only thing that I have to offer is this big ass personality. And so, I was going through school, and my dad, who wears a turban, he's got the major leagues. That's what he's got, right? He's a turban guy. And it was so unique at that time in Indianapolis to be wearing those kinds of clothing, or that kind of apparel. The culture wasn't mainstream, so to speak. And I remember in middle school, my dad came to a parent-teacher conference once, and my middle school bully railed me the next day, just like, your dad's Osama bin Laden, man, and just went in. So much to the fact that I never brought my dad to another parent-teacher conference again. I just brought my mom. I mean, she was the top favorite at the time, too. That didn't have anything to do with it. But it was scarring, and now that I'm older, I get how people felt when they saw a guy with a turban. It's weird, it's different, right? Like, I was in Texas last month, and I saw a bunch of guys with cowboy hats on, and I was like, what the fuck is that on top of your head? You fucking tank head? No, I'm playing. No, that's insulting to an entire culture. We shouldn't laugh. One thing that people with cowboy hats and turbans have in common: oil. All right, I'm done. I get it, right? Like, that's just how it is. I was trying to navigate my own identity, and my father was trying to hold on to his Indian heritage and live in an American world. I was just trying to survive. And we looked at the world very, very differently. So when I was 14 years old, it was the first day of middle school. Or I was 13 or 12, I don't know. Fuck it. I was an age and a teenager or whatever. It's the first day of middle school, and I was wearing that cloth on top of my head, and someone came up behind me on the first day and removed it and threw it onto the ground. And I remember going home and crying because it was one of the first times where my identity was a little shaken, and I couldn't talk about it with my cousins because they were all in Canada and they had each other. And my parents didn't really understand what it was like to go through an American school. And so I felt alone. And loneliness is a crazy feeling, especially when you don't know how to express it to people.